Hi guys, hope you're all really well. Hope you've had a great weekend. I just want to sit and chat with you for a few minutes about something that I've found extremely exciting. So don't fret before we get into what I'm about to talk about. There is a video on the way. I have been out exploring. I went up a mountain and it was a great trip. I had some troubles with the wind, so do forgive me when this video gets released and you end up watching it if there's a lot of noisy wind in the background. I did try to correct it as best I can, but obviously there's only so much you can do when you're up a mountain. Right now, while that's in the process of being created, I just want to discuss the recent discoveries made by NASA about methane gas on Mars and why that's such a big deal. A few of you might be thinking, okay, methane gas, why should we get excited about finding methane gas? Well, here on Earth, 95% of methane gas is created organically by either plants, trees, bacteria, animals, etc. That's a massive percentage. 95% of Earth's methane is created organically by some kind of living organism. I'm not trying to start conspiracy and say that, okay, the methane we found on Mars is being created by little green men, extraterrestrials, anything. All I'm saying is that is a big percentage and the chances are there. So in the past, we was kind of led to believe that Mars was this dead planet, and Mars pretty much is still this dead planet, but there's probably more going on than we first imagined. Basically, methane gas doesn't last forever. Methane gas eventually does evaporate and die out and becomes non-existent. What scientists have discovered when they've come across this methane gas is that in the Martian summer, Mars is releasing large quantities of this methane gas. So what does that tell us? That tells us that Mars somehow is replenishing methane gas. But how and where this methane gas is being produced is still the big mystery. There is some speculation that this methane gas is being produced by bacteria under the Martian crust, and a few people might be thinking, well, okay, bacteria is not a big deal, it's tiny, microscopic, why are we interested in finding bacteria? We want to find little green men and etc. Well, the thing is this. The whole point of us being in space, the whole point of us doing this space exploration and people spending billions of pounds in trying to get to these different planets is because we want to answer the biggest question of all time. Is life out there? Has life happened again elsewhere other than here on Earth? And so back to the bacteria. Bacteria, as small as it is, as insignificant as you might find it, is bacterial life. And that word life is exactly what bacteria is. Bacteria is very much alive. And if we find just a few bacteria on Mars, then that is finding life on another planet. Which would mean all the history books have to be thrown out. Any religious context that states life only happened here on Earth is void. And if it happened elsewhere on another planet beyond Earth, you can bet everything you own that it's happened again and again and again. And we really won't know to what extent that life has evolved. Something else worth noting is that eventually we are going to want to colonize Mars. That is the big be all and end all of space exploration and why people are spending billions of pounds in exploring these different planets. So if Mars is producing these large quantities of methane, which we've now discovered it is, we just don't know how it is, then methane is very, very good at absorbing the sun's heat. And in fact, here on Earth, methane gas is classed as a greenhouse gas because that's exactly what it does. If it's released into the air and we don't trap it before it gets high enough to reach the atmosphere, it lingers and it traps all the heating from the sun, which warms the Earth up. Here on Earth, that is a bad thing because we've already got an atmosphere to keep us warm. We don't need other gases added into that heat. But on Mars, Mars is a frozen planet. Mars has got no atmosphere or a very thin atmosphere. So if we discover that there is methane gas being produced in large quantities under the Martian crust, we can then somehow release that gas into the air and hope that it traps the sun's heat and helps us in our quest of warming back up the planet. That's all I've got to say on this topic for now, guys. Hopefully you are all as excited about this news as I am, and it really does make your mind wonder, like, what is creating this methane? What could we use this methane for when the time comes that we need to colonize Mars? There's just so many doors now that are opening with this one discovery. If you found it interesting and you're excited about this breakthrough, then please comment below. Let me hear your thoughts and opinions on what you think is going on, and if you actually believe that there could be organic life living, whether it be plant-based or microbial. As always, please leave me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, keep in touch, because I always like to speak to you guys that check in on these videos. And like I said before, you shouldn't have too much longer to wait for this explore video that I've recently done. And I will be out again in the next few days, so there'll be another one coming shortly after as well. Take it easy, stay safe. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, and as always, please spread the word about the 401 files. Peace.